Making a one-tooth partial or flipper. Let us select the tooth 1-1, assuming that tooth needs to be extracted. So right, we're going to go to the wax up module and we're going to draw the gum line. So around the cervical area. Fuse the line. Make sure that it's above the surface and mark the gum line. It'll turn pink. Then we're going to create the offset. So make sure that the offset doesn't make a triangle there. So the first point is very close to the pink line. And then fusing it. And we're going to do the same for the other side. Don't forget offset contact line, because that's the only way that line is going to offset from the model. And then join it by clicking F to fuse. Just check it out, and then section tooth, which makes a cutting tool. Make sure that the cutting tool is above surface. If not, snap tool is off and then move it like I have now. And then cut it. So this will separate the tooth from the main model. So here I've hidden it, and you can see how it's actually socketed my model. We're always looking for great scans, geometry. So what I'm going to do here is basically give it a quick sculpt over smooth. So next I'm going to give the tooth a different color, and we're going to go to the block art module. Name it upper and create your model. Default is 0.2 millimeters. You can change it if you need to, and then finish this model. Then let's survey it, get the best path of insertion. So I'm looking at the mesials of those two teeth, and then for the contact areas, and then we're going to mark these undercuts so we can get a good visual on that. I'm not going to apply the auto default models because these undercuts are actually very deep. So let us do it the manual way. So I'm adjusting the undercuts, and as I'm sliding the offset value, you can see how this offset actually has an effect on it. The default value is -0.4, but in this case we don't want to block out too heavily, otherwise this denture is not going to come in and out correctly. We're going to leave this at -0.25 and then apply it, and we're going to sculpt these this model, the orange model, just to clean it up. And I may decide to add a little bit in certain areas, especially where the contact is, because we don't want to have to adjust this denture at all. Then we're going to finish this model. The two of them are going to combine with each other, and they're going to remesh. And we're going to apply that. And this is going to be our fitting model. So in the splint module, we're going to select the model, call it target, and I'm going to simply paint out my layer. The default value is 4 millimeters, which actually means it extends 2 millimeters on the outside of the model and 2 millimeters on the inside of the model. If you want to have it thinner or thicker, times that by 2 and put a different value in there. If you do make a mistake and you make a little bit of an overextension, use a minus sign. Here there's a little toggle button where we can hide the thickness of it, and note how I'm extending this layer into the contact areas and a little bit on the labial surface as well. Make sure that you don't have any holes in this mesh. Then we're going to apply this, and we're going to accept this layer. And following that, I'm going to opt to smooth it. Geometry is always very important so that we can get a good print. Once I'm satisfied with the smoothing, we're going to exit it, and it's going to remesh it one more time. I've chosen to remesh it a little bit finer at 0.3 millimeters. So we're going to delete the models that we don't need. It's called object management. And then we're going to then hide that model. And if we want to get rid of a little bit of this tissue in between, or maybe you want to opt to not have any pink gum at all, then you would just use one of the sculpting tools and simply get rid of the gum. Then exit it. It will remesh it one more time. We're going to accept that, and that's looking really good. Last thing, we're going to make sure the objects are called layer and target model, and we're going to cut the fitting surface. And there we go. I'd previously cut the tooth, which is not shown here, but you would then take this tooth and then cut out the target model, and this will give you this result. And then just to be funky, we'll just give it a little bit of a color, just for visual appearance. And then let's have a look and see what we have. That's looking really good. So this is a video about making a one-tooth partial denture or a flipper. We're going to unlock these models, these objects, so we can move them out of the model. There we go.